Welcome, everyone. Today we're going to talk about wellness from a Russian perspective. And I would like to broaden it a little bit and not just talk about Russian perspective, I'd say more of a post-Soviet perspective, because a lot of people share the same, I'd say, values and cultural differences as Russians. Okay, I would like, before we get into the details, I would like to maybe turn on our cameras, have our chat options open. I'd like for you to participate and to comment as much as you'd like. So please turn on your cameras, turn on your microphones, and participate. Hi, Tigis, good to see you. Long time no see. Please tell me if you already know any healthy or unhealthy habits about Russia. Stereotypes are encouraged. Let's just get them out of the way right away.
Vodka, potatoes.
Okay. Yes, vodka, potatoes, very good. That's
Tea?
how we do it. Tea,
Pickle.
that's true. Yes.
Pickles?
Yes, absolutely. Anything else?
Borscht?
Dacha.
All
Yeah.
right, guys. This is like, I'm surprised. This is a very, very well-versed audience here. I see. I'm dealing with experts. So if you're so well-versed, let me see how you will do with the quiz. I'm going to ask you a few questions via poll. Just to let you know, some of these questions have multiple answers. So don't worry if you want to choose one or two. If you think that not just one fits, please go ahead and choose as many as you'd like. If you don't know some of the terms, don't worry. I'll explain them later, or someone else will explain them a little bit later. And if something just seems wrong, it might be a joke in there. So I'm going to launch a poll. Let's start. I'll give you just a few minutes. So what, in your opinion, is the most popular winter activity in Russia? Snowball fight, cross-country skiing, skating, or sledding? What is the most popular Russian dish? The options are borscht, pelmeni, crepes, caviar. How do most Russian people get around? By car, by bear, by foot, or it's too cold outside to go anywhere? How do Russians spend weekends in the summer? Going to a dacha, getting together with friends around the fireplace, berry and mushroom picking, or gardening? And one more question, what is the most popular drink among Russians? I know you want to say vodka, but I'm not giving you this option. Kvass, tea, coffee, or juice? Let's just do a few more seconds, just like 50 more seconds. I want everybody to choose, have a chance to choose and go through all of the questions. Okay, one more person, and then we'll be done. One more person, come on. Yes, okay. I'm sharing the results. So here's the results. Very, very interesting. Well, to be honest with you guys, most of these questions don't have wrong answers. We just shared an opinion and wanted for you to get familiarized with some concepts and some terms. So most of these questions don't have wrong answers, except for one. The question where Russians get around by bear. I just want to give you full disclosure. Very few people in Russia get around by bear, and they draw a lot of attention, just like they would in America. So just wanted to get it out of the way right away. Okay, so let's get to the next slide. Okay, let's dive in. Let's dive in into diet, one of the most important topics. Russian people love growing their own vegetables and fruits and consider it not only an activity, it's like a recreational activity for the whole family. Many people have country homes called dachas, where they grow everything from potatoes to dill. Since the shelf life of fruits and vegetables isn't very long, Russian people love to preserve those vegetables. So we make everything from pickles, jams, preserves, you name it. Russian people really like it. Also, a lack of a proper a summer home like a dacha never stopped Russians from growing things. So we grow things on the balconies, on windowsills, and the presence of dill, for example, in Russian cuisine is legendary because most people can grow it indoors on their balconies or on the windowsills. Another thing that Russian people do a lot is pick mushrooms and wild berries. So do you know how there are pumpkin patches and strawberry fields in America, right? It's nothing like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
It's like a scavenger hunt. And Russian people it's like a creature that live in the forest and you have to go and hunt it. So it's more like a scavenger hunt, and any Russian person can distinguish from afar at least 15 proper mushrooms that you can eat, edible mushrooms. And even more than that, they can probably distinguish mushrooms that you're not supposed to eat, like muhamor, which is a toadstool, or бледная поганка, death angel. Natalia told me today not to say all and everybody because she thinks it's too strong, and it's true. Most people do certain activities, but it's not everybody. So I don't want you to think that everyone goes mushroom picking and everyone does preserves. But it is a cultural trait, and that's why I wanted to cover it.
It's something I miss a lot, and I try to go to forest just to see if I can find something.
I'm glad that you said something, Natalia, because I would like for you all to pay attention to the screen right now even more. And just to look at the top right corner, you see those beautiful green pictures. Those are not stock photos. Those are from Natalia's garden. She's growing it right now. I actually saw it a few minutes ago. Yes. So that's actually from her garden, and she grows much more. Natalia, what else do you grow in your garden?
I mean, all the bushes, currants, is like as much as I can get on my stuff. So we're probably gonna pick some strawberries soon, and like blueberries, currants, all the green stuff. I'm drinking my own homemade tea with all the leaves, and yeah, whatever I can do, as you said. I think you're right.
You're a living testimony to this to this presentation. Okay, on to the next common concept in Russia. You absolutely must eat soup for lunch, because if you don't eat soup, you're gonna have a stomach ulcer. I don't know why, but this is just something we all grew up with, and that's why soups are very, very common in Russia. There is another logical reason for it, and it's the same. Because we grow a lot of vegetables and eat them seasonally, Russians will grow things and harvest things like turnips, beets, potatoes in the fall, and then they'll eat them until spring. So those vegetables need to be boiled to get soft. Therefore, you eat them in the form of a soup. Also, if you're in a Russian store during winter months, don't expect to see a wild variety. You won't find strawberries in February. Russian people eat seasonally, and fresh vegetables and fruits in the summer, root vegetables and meat in the fall and winter. But herbs are used all year round, and that's why you'll see dill present on almost everything, because people grow it all year round. The same as green onions. It's very popular as well. And also, I would like to cover a very special topic, fasting during Great Lent. So a lot of Russian people are baptized Orthodox Christians. And in this religion, there are a few fasting periods. But the most common one and the most popular and the most revered one is Great Lent, which is a period of 40 days right before Easter. So for Orthodox Christians, Great Lent is a time of repentance, and the main goal of this period is to fast spiritually first and then physically. However, a lot of Russian people, even though they're baptized Orthodox Christians, they don't really follow the religion fully or not at all. but a lot of people do follow the Great Lent, and they use it as a way of 40-day cleanse or a fat diet or a way to test to be vegan for 40 days, you name it, or like a way to lose a few pounds before summer. But a lot of people do follow the Great Lent. And just to explain to you what Great Lent means, during that time, people abstain from alcohol, meat, dairy, eggs, and seafood products, and some oils. Do you guys have any questions? Am I going too fast?
No.
Okay. All right. Excellent. Another topic I really love is the culture of Dacha. Does anyone know what Dacha is? You can even put a plus or a minus in the chat if you know. Okay. Very good. Very good. So Dacha is a small house outside of the city where Russian people go on the weekend during the summer months. Believe it or not, most cities in Russia during the summer become empty because people go to their summer residences. And just to explain to you how it first appeared, I'll tell you that the concept of Dacha started during Peter the Great. He wanted full power of his subordinates, and he didn't want them to travel far during their vacation. He didn't want them to go to the seashore or travel internationally. He wanted them to stay nearby all the time. And in order to do that, he granted his closest subordinates plots of land near St. Petersburg, so he can constantly check up on them, even during the weekend. So that's how summer residences dachas first appeared. Then during Soviet era, lots of people, the food supply was very scarce. So people started growing their own vegetables in those dachas just to be able to get by. And even though the food supply is no longer an issue in Russia, the tradition is still there. So people will grow lots of vegetables on their dachas. But in general, Dacha is a place of relaxation, and people go fishing, grilling, relaxing, and drinking tea there. Which, I didn't say just drinking tea for no reason, which brings us to another topic, is tea, culture of tea traditions, culture of tea drinking in Russia. Okay, and here we go. The world may think that vodka is the national drink of Russia, but really it's black loose tea. Russian people love drinking black loose tea, and sometimes we drink it throughout the whole day. Now coffee is also very common, but tea is still #1 drink in Russia, and I would say in post-Soviet countries as well. It's not only the source of warmth and nourishment, but also it's a very popular social activity. But besides black loose tea, Russian people also drink other infusions, tea with sweet jams, herbal teas, you name it. And I don't want to just say from my perspective, I'd like someone else to testify. And we have our Ekaterina Anderson, who is very, very well versed in this subject. So I'd like for her to take the microphone. Katya, are you ready?
Yes, thank you.
Oh,
yeah,
excellent.
thank you very much. Yes, it's lovely. I actually wanted to add a little bit on the Dacha. I did not want to interrupt you, but if you know famous Chekhov's plays, for instance, like Seagull and the Uncle Vanya, they take place at dachas. A lot of people who are famous in Russian history, they were users of the dachas. Okay, so I wanted to talk a little bit about herbal remedies. Yeah, and it's actually, I do not have a slide. I thought I was gonna, would I use your slide? Yes, thank you so much. So it's not exactly homeopathy. This is something that's not actually very well known in the US and considered almost pseudoscientific, but the Russians use that as well. However, they're more likely to use herbal remedies. They are very readily available in Russian food stores. So if you were to go to Russian Gourmet and a couple of other ones like Troika, you would see them there on specified shelves. The Russians call these remedies health that grows under your feet. So they will actually not only go berry picking or mushroom picking, they'll collect herbs as well. And they could be herbs like mint and valeriana root and sage and even oak tree bark and motherwort and many, many, many others. If you don't want to collect them or you don't know, you just buy them at the store or at the drugstore. And then with them, you make teas and you make infusions. And this is something that has medicinal purposes and it's rich in vitamins as well. So there are actually Russian sites that teach you how to make them. Like they will tell you the exact dosage and what and how long to boil something or how long to infuse it, how long to steep it, and so on and so forth. So it's an interesting thing in the culture. I think that typical Russian would try the home traditional remedies first, if they're sick, before reaching out to some chemical treatments. Also very popular are lemon, tea with lemon, tea with honey, tea with raspberry jam. All these kind of like make you sweat. So it's believed that, you kind of sweat it out of your body. Of course, also berry drinks, like we call them mors in Russian. It's just basically berry, a little bit of sugar and water cooked together. Compote, which is dried fruit. It's a drink made of dried fruit and drink typically cold. And kvass, of course. Kvass is fermented drink made from rye bread. I tried it on my family members. It's like hate it or love it. It's love or hate it. There's nothing in between. But I'm a very, very big fan of it. There's nothing more refreshing than a good cup of cold kvass on a hot day. And also, of course, a lot of onion and garlic. So the winter rolls in, and every Russian will tell you to eat garlic and use it as much as possible to ward off infection, which is something that we also know pretty well here in the US, I think. So, well, zakalka, I think I'll pass that back to Anastasia on zakalka. That's an interesting thing to do too. And don't think us crazy. It's true. It does happen. My own brother does this. So. Yeah.
Well, actually, I think that I can speak about zakalka, but I think that Natalia knows about a lot about zakalka. Natalia, can you just say a few words explaining what it is?
Well, I think from my childhood, I don't remember like standing like that and putting water on me. But what we did all the time, like my mom just would let us go outside early in the morning when it's still cold, bare feet. And we would run on the grass, get our feet wet. And that was considered like one type of like staying strong, having a strong immune system. But I remember like seeing like one of my neighbors who lived on the first floor. What they would do, they had a baby, probably like a few months old. And so usually mother or father would take the baby out of the window. Someone would stand downstairs, like down there, pour the water on the baby, and then take it back, like right there for the window. And it's like, oh my gosh, what are you doing? But the girl like grew up to be very strong and healthy, and I have never heard of you being sick. So I think it works. But again, it looks like a little crazy. And what you see on pictures is actually this is happening. Another thing that I was always willing to do but never did is like to go during like it's January tradition. January 19th is when we have it's a religious tradition, but people said like you will never get sick from going into the cold water because God protects you. So again, haven't tried it myself, but I know how many people make it a tradition, like once a year, go, like we call it like going to prorub. So kupatsa v prorubi is like they actually go to that like absolutely freezing cold water, jump there 3 times. So you're supposed to either like kind of go up and down 3 times and then get out. So that's a very, very Russian tradition too.
Thank you, Natalia. Thank you. All right. So from zakalka and infusions and tea drinking, let's go to fitness and exercise. There are lots of outdoor and indoor activities the Russians enjoy, but I would like to stress something that you may not think about, but I know that I observed it in Russia versus America. In Russia, apart from many outdoor activities, Russians do a lot of walking. On average, a middle-aged person in Russia walks about 8,000 steps a day. It may seem like a lot, but not too many Russians have a luxury of a personal vehicle. So most people get around either by foot or by public transportation. And between your daily commute, your errands, you can easily walk up to 15,000 steps a day. But like I said, on average, 8,000 steps a day. Also, every residential complex where people live will have a playground. So kids always have an opportunity to play outdoors with their peers, and it's encouraged. So lots of exercising is done just by playing in your own yard. Also, of course, cross-country skiing and pools. There are lots of pools in every neighborhood. There will be a very accessible public pool that people can use. And cross-country skiing, there are rental spots throughout the city and outside of the city where you can rent skis for very, very affordable price. So it's very common. Now on to bathhouse. Russian bathhouse, also called banya. Banya is a very interesting concept that's very, very popular in Russia. It's several centuries old and still very popular. Banya is something in between a steam room and sauna. And in every city in Russia, there are many, many banyas. Lots of dachas have their personal banyas built next door. But also, if you don't have your own banya, there are so many public bathhouses that people commonly use, and it's very popular activity. Usually, a group of close friends will go to banya together to experience full meaning and purpose of banya. They drink herbal teas, eat light snacks, talk about life, and share ideas. It all happens in banya, believe it or not. It is recommended to visit banya once a week, especially during winter months, to reap all the benefits. And one more thing, Russian people congratulate each other on exiting banya. We say, congratulations on a light steam. С легким паром. And the last topic we would like to cover today is mental health. Russians are very fond of live performances. There are many, well, every single city has a small drama theater, and tickets are very affordable, so everyone can go to a drama theater. I grew up going to countless puppet shows on the weekend and children plays with my mom. As I grew up, my mom always had tickets to a theater play on the weekend. And sometimes we would go to see the same play over and over again, just because that's what was in the theater and that's what we had available, but we still go because that's what you do on the weekend. Besides cultural events, we love to sing. Singing is such a big part of Russian culture. There are many songs, war songs or folklore songs, or just popular songs from old movies that Russians know by heart since childhood. And we all sing them together. And most of all, we just love getting together and singing those songs. And it's a way to release emotions, share them with your friends and families. And now, I don't want to just tell you about all these wonderful things about Russia and Russian traditions and then not have you experience it firsthand. So I'd like for you to do this experiment as a way of mental health promotion of DLS. Sit back, enjoy yourself, relax, and imagine that you are surrounded by your friends and family, by the fireplace, and one of your comrades, one of your friends is playing this song in the background. Can you hear me very well? Excellent. сразу все устроилось, Москва не сразу строилась, словам Москва не верила, а верила любви. Снегами запорошена, листвою заворожена, найдет тепло прохожему, а деревцу земли. Александра, Александра, этот город наш с тобою, стали мы его судьбою. Ты вглядись в его лицо, чтобы ни было в начале, утолит он все печали. Вот и стало обручальным нам садовое кольцо. Москву рябины красили, дубы стояли князями, но не они, а ясени без спросу проросли. Москва не зря надеется, что вся в листву оденется. Москва найдет для деревца хоть краешек земли. Александра, Александра, что там вьется перед нами? Это ясень семенами крутит вальс над мостовой. Ясень с видом деревенским приобщился к вальсам венским. Он пробьется, Александра, он надышится Москвой. Thank you very much. You were just now in Russia by the campfire, enjoying the songs by your peers. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, please, we will be happy to answer any questions about Russia culture.